Welcome to Poland Daily Culture. In today's episode, we're here at the Warsaw Uprising Museum. It's not widely known that Polish music, literature, cinema and nightlife scene were thriving between the First and Second World War. So join us as we take you on a journey through that period with the people who knew it best.
Polish culture in the interwar period witnessed the rebirth of Polish sovereignty. The nationalhood, along with its cultural heritage, was no longer suppressed by the three foreign partitioners. The cultural development saw the retreat of the 19th century elite cultures, of nobility as well as the traditional folk culture, and the rise of a new mass culture integrating Polish society closer to the new intelligentsia educated in the practice of democracy.
I'm here with Mr. Artur Gorniejewski. Mr. Gorniejewski, welcome back to Poland Daily Culture.
Thank you very much for your invitation. It will be a pleasure of mine to answer your questions connected with Polish history.
Well, we will be discussing Polish culture in the interwar period, but just before we get into discussing that, could you sort of set the scene for us regarding Polish society in the years just after 1918?
Well, Poland just got back the independence, 11th of November, widely known as Amnesty Day or Veterans Day or Remembrance Day. Then in Poland, it's our Independence Day. 11th of November 1918 is a moment when Poland got back the independence after 123 years. So 123 years, 5 generations not being on the map. So imagine, not your parents, not grandparents, not great-grandparents, but great-great-grandparents of yours were living in an independent country of yours. So what do we remember about our great-great-grandparents? What could Polish people know about their identity, about their culture? And very important personalities of that period of time, like we talked about, Frédéric Chopin had very big impact on this period of time. And Polish people knew that they made a lot of work to make it happen. And then it's happening. Once again, we get back our independence. Of course, no one's thinking that another war may occur. No one's taking under consideration that there was World War I, and then there will be World War II, so that everyone were calling this war the big war.
So, could you tell us then about the this interwar period and what sort of characterized Polish culture in this time?
Cosmopolitan culture and cosmopolitan trends were approaching and reaching Poland very quickly. If there is something very heavy in your life, if there is something very difficult and it's over, then you feel relaxed, then you feel like it's gone. And this is what people were feeling like all over planet Earth, and exactly the same in Poland. So international ideas were reaching Poland, and also Polish ideas were reaching another countries very soon, very quickly. In this period of time, surely Poland was one of many countries that was prevailing on entire planet Earth. And that's why many things that were happening in Poland till nowadays have impact on entire, for instance, movie industry.
The spirit of rebirth affected not only Poland's mainstream society, but also national, ethnic and religious minorities. By the late 1930s, the Ukraine press could boast some 68 titles, published mainly in Lwów, Stanisławów and Kołymia. The most important was the Lwów Daily Dilo, the Deed, with the strong cultural and liberal background. It was published on a weekly basis already since 1880, but in the interwar Poland it had expanded to 10 pages per day, with 10 full-time workers. Other popular dailies included Nowy and the Ukraine Visti. The Belarusian press consisted of 16 periodicals, and the Lithuanian as well as Russian press published around 10 titles each. At Warsaw University, the seminars on Ukraine history were held by renowned scholar Professor Myron Korduba, who taught Jerzy Giedroyć, among others.
And was there something that was making the Polish culture sort of unique or somehow slightly different to its neighbours or the rest of Europe? Was there something specific about that Polish culture at that time that really defined it?
Polish culture and Polish country once again appeared on the maps. So in these days, everyone knew that there was a very strong country of Poland. There were people who were promoting Polish culture during that period of time. For instance, Jan Ignacy Paderewski, one of first VIPs in the US, amazing performer, highly appreciated by US presidents, becomes Polish prime minister. So a musician who was promoting Polish culture then becomes a prime minister of Poland, and then everyone knows about it, that he was performing Chopin in an amazing way. We are having very strong personalities like Marshal Józef Piłsudski, who was the one who convinced European leaders after World War I that there was a country once more needed on Europeans' map in between Germany and Russia, so that these two will not have any common border anymore, but there will be a buffer area in between them. So Poland gets back the independence in 1918, a very big country, a country that's instantly in war with Russia. Bolshevik revolution that starts in 1917, and Bolsheviks that wanted to conquer weak Europe after World War I were saying, we'll just cross Poland. Because how is it possible that Polish people will unite and fight together as far as during World War I, Polish man was fighting another Polish man? As far as that was Russia, Prussia, Germany, and Austria, then Polish men were fighting for these three countries, and this is how Polish man was shooting another Polish man during World War I. Poland was undermined when it comes to military strength, and then Poland was the country that stopped Bolshevik revolution in 1920 at the so-called miracle at Vistula River. Marshal Józef Piłsudski is right over there. Poland stopped the revolution, and then Polish culture could develop.
I guess it's interesting because you were saying, you know, if Poland could have like a musician who could become the president, it really says something for the value with which the Polish public would place on a cultural figure. And it's really kind of you know, it's almost more difficult to imagine that in these times. So do you think, therefore, that the Polish public placed more value on these cultural figures during that period than perhaps even we do today, that they could be elevated to such a position?
It's not only about the branch of Jan Ignacy Paderewski, so musician, so classical music performer. Even though it was extremely important in these days, then still what's even more important is what he really did for us. Jan Ignacy Paderewski, before every single performance, would stand up, greet the guests. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Polish, I want Poland to be independent again, thank you very much. And then his performances and interpretation of Frédéric Chopin music, which meant for our culture and European culture and the world's culture so much, made him not only a very important and recognizable person, but also what he really did, his acts, were important for our independence. Among with Maria Skłodowska, widely known as Madame Curie, discovered two elements, radium and polonium. So we are not having Poland for more than 100 years, and there is a scientist who says, the second element I discovered will have a name of my homeland country, polonium. Albert Einstein was sitting right next to her, and another man. She was the only woman during such gatherings, but soon things will change. World War I will come. And this is a moment in world's history where women had to do men's stuff. So to do men's stuff, they had to dress up in a way that would allow them to do so. The same when it comes to hairdressing style. The same when it comes to general things that women and men were taken care of during World War I and then after the war that was soon following.
Okay, Mr. Artur Gorniejewski, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us here at Poland Daily Culture at the Warsaw Uprising Museum. Join us again tomorrow as we take another fascinating journey through Polish culture.